Pirates, the Penzance Musical, Broadway's jazz-infused adventure, ends July 27th. Imagine a world where swashbuckling pirates meet the vibrant energy of New Orleans. It's a match made in heaven. But here's where it gets controversial. What happens when a classic musical like the Pirates of Penzance gets a modern twist? The Pirates, the Penzance Musical, which ended its Broadway run on July 27, dared to take on this challenge, and the result was nothing short of spectacular. This jazz-infused revival, directed by Scott Ellis and choreographed by Warren Carlyle, brought a fresh perspective to the beloved story, shifting the action from the traditional setting to the legendary port city of New Orleans. And this is the part most people miss. The adaptation, led by Tony winner Rupert Holmes, stayed true to the original libretto by W.S. Gilbert while incorporating the unique flavors of the Big Easy. But what really sets this production apart is its bold new orchestrations, infused with Caribbean and French Quarter influences, courtesy of Joseph Joubert and Darrell Waters. The score, originally composed by Arthur Sullivan, remains intact, but the new arrangements add a thrilling layer of depth and excitement. The talented cast, featuring Ramin Karimloo as the Pirate King and David Hyde Pierce as the Major General, brought the story to life with their incredible performances. They were joined by an all-star ensemble, including Jinkx Monsoon, Nicholas Barash, Preston Truman Boyd, and Samantha Williams, among others. The production's creative team, which included scenic design by Tony winner David Rockwell, costume design by Tony winner Linda Cho, and lighting design by Tony winner Donald Holder, worked together to create a visually stunning and immersive experience. But here's the question. Can a classic musical like the Pirates of Penzance be successfully reimagined for modern audiences? The answer, as seen in this production, is a resounding yes. By embracing the unique spirit of New Orleans and blending it with the timeless charm of the original story, the Pirates, the Penzance Musical, proved that even the most traditional tales can be reborn and reinvigorated. So, what do you think? Can classic musicals be successfully reimagined, or should they be left in their original form? Share your thoughts in the comments. Visit roundabouttheater.org to learn more about this incredible production and its talented cast and crew. Broadway grosses week ending 7/27/25. Pirates, the Penzance Musical closes. Broadway's box office buzz, week ending July 27th, 2025. The curtain falls on Pirates, the Penzance Musical. The world of Broadway is always shifting, and this past week brought some notably dramatic changes, including the conclusion of the run for Pirates, the Penzance Musical. This marks a significant moment for fans and theater lovers, as this Tony-nominated show most recently wrapped up its performances on July 27, 2025. Curious about how it fared throughout its Broadway tenure? There's a wealth of information available that chronicles the show's journey, from ticket sales to audience reception and more. For those eager to dive deeper into the numbers, Broadway World's comprehensive grosses section provides detailed weekly data on every show currently playing on Broadway. Here, you can explore not just the latest grosses, but also historical figures, cumulative totals, and performance stats that reveal how each production is stacking up both week to week and over time. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite the closing of Pirates, several productions experienced notable shifts in attendance and gross income this week. Box office numbers rose for several shows, with Call Me Izzy leading the pack with a remarkable 28.9% increase in attendance percentage relative to its capacity. Close behind were familiar favorites such as Gypsy rising by 7%, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by 4.7%, and even Pirates. The Penzance Musical itself showed a slight attendance bump of 4.5% before closing its doors. Other musicals that saw attendance gains include Moulin Rouge the Musical, Aladdin, Oh Mary, Operation Mincemeat, a new musical, Six, the Musical, The Lion King, The Outsiders, Chicago, and Maybe Happy Ending, each growing by varying small percentages. Conversely, some shows experienced declines. Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club faced a sharp attendance drop of 17.1%, while Buena Vista Social Club, The Great Gatsby, Death Becomes Her, The Book of Mormon, Stranger Things, The First Shadow, and others experienced more modest decreases. This seesaw pattern showcases the ever-changing preferences and interests of Broadway audiences. During this week, Broadway showcased 28 different productions, selling an impressive 246,701 tickets, culminating in a combined gross of $31,581,085. The average ticket cost came in at $128.01, slightly lower by $3.39 compared to the previous week's average. However, overall attendance dipped by 4.23%, and total gross revenues dropped by 6.7% from the week before. A reminder of the challenging landscape Broadway shows must navigate week to week. Highlighting the top earners of the week, Wicked claimed the highest gross with $2,386,982, closely followed by The Lion King at $2,324,312, and Hamilton pulling in $2,236,625. Aladdin and MJ rounded out the top five, earning $1,610,886 and $1,394,267 respectively. On the other end of the spectrum, shows like Call Me Izzy $426,978, Pirates, The Penzance Musical $567,633, Chicago $618,717, and The Kit Kat Club $648,886, and Purpose $651,047 found themselves at the lower end of weekly grosses. When comparing gains week over week, Call Me Izzy stands out with a gross increase of $370,459. This surge coincides with the much-anticipated return of star Jean Smart, who came back to the stage after recovering from a knee injury. That kind of star power and audience loyalty can clearly have a tangible impact on a production's financial success. Meanwhile, Aladdin, Gypsy, The Lion King, and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child also enjoyed solid weekly gross increases. Inversely, the sharpest declines included Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, which lost $517,379 in gross revenue compared to the prior week, followed by Death Becomes Her, Buena Vista Social Club, The Great Gatsby, and Wicked. These drops may prompt questions about audience engagement and competition among shows. Exploring ticket prices reveals an intriguing range. Just in Time commands the highest average at $230.39 per ticket, with Hamilton and The Lion King also priced well above $170. At the opposite end, The Great Gatsby's average ticket price is $89.65, closely followed by Hell's Kitchen, Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, Pirates, The Penzance Musical, and Chicago, all averaging under $100. This pricing disparity can influence attendance and overall grosses, creating trade-offs between accessibility and exclusivity. Interestingly, several shows managed to surpass 100% capacity, a phenomenon often attributed to standing room tickets or added seats. Just in Time reached 103.5%, with other productions like Maybe Happy Ending, The Outsiders, John Proctor is the Villain, and Pirates, The Penzance Musical also exceeding full houses. On the flip side, surprisingly low capacity percentages were recorded for Call Me Izzy, 59.2%, and Gypsy, 73.8%, raising questions about audience interest or show availability. Attendance changes week over week varied widely. Call Me Izzy increased its audience by 2,847 attendees, while shows like Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club lost 1,464 attendees, a dramatic swing that could signal shifting public tastes or external factors impacting ticket sales. All in all, this week's box office snapshot captures the thrilling unpredictability of Broadway, where star power, pricing strategies, audience preferences, and show longevity can all dramatically sway a production's fortunes. But here's the part most people miss. What do these fluctuations really say about the health of Broadway? Are closing shows like Pirates a sign of an evolving industry, or simply the natural life cycle of live theater? And with star returns boosting sales, how much weight do individual performers carry in this ecosystem? We invite you to weigh in. Are ticket prices shaping who gets to experience Broadway? Do attendance swings reflect broader cultural trends? Share your thoughts. Disagree, agree, or add your perspective below. The conversation is just getting started. Final curtain call of Pirates, the Penzance Musical on Broadway. Ever wondered what happens during the final curtain call of a Broadway musical? Well, brace yourself for the exciting conclusion of Pirates, the Penzance Musical, as it wrapped up its limited run on Broadway. Led by talented actors like David Hyde Pierce, Ramin Karimloo, and Jinkx Monsoon, the cast bid farewell to the audience after 21 previews and 109 regular performances at the Todd Hames Theater. The Jazz-Infused, New Orleans-style production featured music by Arthur Sullivan, with a libretto by W.S. Gilbert and adaptation by Rupert Holmes. The show was brought to life through orchestrations by Joseph Joubert and Daryl Waters under the music direction of Joseph Joubert, choreography by Warren Carlyle, and direction by Scott Ellis. The audience was so captivated that they gave the company 2 standing ovations following the performance of With Cat-Like Tread. The talented Broadway cast included Nicholas Barash, Preston Truman Boyd, Samantha Williams, and a host of other exceptional performers who brought this vibrant and energetic production to life. Pirates, the Penzance Musical, reimagined the classic tale with a jazzy bluesy twist, set in New Orleans and filled with Caribbean rhythms and French Quarter flair. From the tongue-twisting Major General to the rabble-rousing Pirate King, this show had something for everyone. Whether you were a first-timer or a seasoned Gilbert Sullivan fan,